This week we further cover in our lecture Governmental Transitions, explaining an inability to abandon previous judicial proceedings and previous administration is to remain in office until replaced.
Lecture 12, Article 7. Governmental Transition continued. As governmental transitions continue, we must remember that law is the order of the day. Just because the laws will change doesn't mean that existing laws weren't in effect until the adoption of the new order. Just as before the seatbelt law was passed, drivers couldn't receive tickets for not wearing them. If the speed limit were to increase, drivers would still be liable for speeding tickets while under the reduced speed until the law passed. Just as there are no ex post facto laws under the TN Constitution, neither may repealed laws relieve citizens from being witnessed by authorities to having broken a law while it was in effect. We have to provide for a most uneventful governmental transitions, and the rule of law is what ensures we remain civil. Surely, there were votes against the Home Rule Charter adopted in 1984, therefore there were some who would lose with the new charter's adoption. Some friends were lost, some positions appointed, and a whole new approach to government would follow the adoption of the latest charter. It takes an entirely different outlook where the true magnitude of local municipalities can be maximized with minimal supervision. The emphasis on innate sovereignty gives everybody, individually or collectively, the benefit of the doubt that they follow the rule of law, as there is little reason to preach to the choir. This benefit of the doubt is extended to economics, as counties under home rule may determine the board's compensation. Transitions under the new charter can't abandon the past, as all judicial proceedings follow the previous charter, and officers elected or appointed are to remain until elected or appointed successors are installed, but as significant is the economic freedom it allows. In all judicial proceedings, civil, criminal or contractual, whether began or pending at the time before the latest charter's adoption but not consummated, may not be affected in any way. Being subject to the law, those falling under county jurisdiction are subject to changes in the law where residents agree that, for instance, 35 miles per hour is fast enough to travel through a town. If the law changes to allow travel at 45 miles per hour, a ticket prior to the law change didn't mean that one didn't break the law, because the act was committed while the law was being enforced. Taxation without representation was legal until the Constitution was signed as law, and the definition of what it meant to colonists was manifest into the government we know and love today. Being in society means that we follow those rules of the state for the better disposition of residents, where the judicial system divides those who belong in society from those who don't. Criminally through the county jail, civilly through economics, and contractually through certain orders, the judicial system controls what is lawful in society. However small or large society is, they are those who follow the current laws for the betterment of society, where the judicial system, which sees, hears, and speaks no evil, just carries out the will of the majority until it changes, as we all consider the most current in effect. Though a new was one adopted, we can't release those under our jurisdiction from the time and behavior under the auspices of Shelby County. Elected and appointed officers installed as such prior to the adoption of the latest charter shall remain as such until their respective successors are elected or appointed to replace existing personnel. As with any change in government as encompassing as a county charter, political lines were surely drawn between those for and those against the new Home Rule Charter's passage. The new charter allows much more leverage to local municipalities attempting to control their own destinies, and with the racial divide in Shelby County, the political machine of Memphis proved with the Home Rule Charter's passage its Democratic majority. Though this may have not set well with some in elected and appointed positions throughout the county, they have a duty to the county in office to stand fast until lawfully replaced. Abandonment of offices by any is by this Article 7 Section 10 prohibited to the equivalent of some type of malfeasance or military post desertion. We all know that both often mark the end of either career. Tennessee state law concerning boards of county commissions will determine the salary of the initial elected commissioners under the new charter as of June 15, 1984. With the new Home Rule Charter and self-government in the county, economics is more autonomously distributed for the betterment of society, theoretically. We can't assume that economics will be used negatively, and though it might not, the good always cancels out bad, as the majority is always in compliance. The political scales that are weighed down by race and proximity more so than impartiality and optimism have led to one seeing the moral density of himself equal to the mass of those one claims his moral density trumps in magnitude, density, and volume, though it does not. The ability to distribute more appropriate compensation to the board is perhaps the main issue in the mission of establishing the new charter. The proportion of work and responsibility that is thrust upon commissioners is more so in counties whose local municipalities are more active, as with Memphis in relation to Shelby County. The magnitude of some cities warrants a proportionate amount of governance, and without adequate compensation an honest day's pay wouldn't amount to the pay it was worth. If anyone does, the government knows that you pay for what you get. Transitioning with the new Home Rule Charter, we can't abandon the past, as all judicial proceeding follow the previous charter, where officers, elected or appointed, may not desert their posts until successors are installed, but as significant is the economic freedom it allows. We must remember that the new charter did not take effect until its adoption, where prior to citizens were still under rule of the charter. There hasn't been an absence of county government since 1819, where theoretically there should never be. Thus, despite the political differences between those for and against the new direction of the county, those against may not abandon their offices. With the new charter, the magnitude of our second largest city may be met by the board.